I'm Jennifer Castoldi from Trendease International, and today we are at the studio of Rosy Napper. Thank you for having us today.
Thank you for coming.
So this is the next episode of our docuseries, talking about what the amazing new talents are doing for Kingsgate Castle. And we found Rosy in 2023, last year, at her graduate show at Central St. Martin's, and she had invented this really amazing new material called Recinder. Can you explain a bit, like, what is Recinder?
Yes, so Recinder is basically a 100% recycled ceramic material made from recycled ceramic, waste and waste ash.
Where do you get that ceramic?
I collect the ceramic from various studios around London. So sort of ceramic studios that are, a lot of things go into the kiln but not necessarily come out of the kiln, or they're not collected, or they break when they're fired, or they crack. So I collect them and I grind them down and I turn them into new ceramics.
And the ash?
The ash I actually get from a potter down in Kent who has a sort of coal-fired system, and for years he was sending it off to landfill, so now I intercept it as often as I can, and I recycle that as well.
Yeah, so that kind of evolved into this collaboration where, hey, at Kingsgate Castle we now have an eco fireplace burning kiln-dried local British wood from a sustainable forest. So we've got sustainable ash that I don't want to throw out if something beautiful can happen to it. So we now give the ash to Rosy. And what happens then?
So I do essentially the same process that I have been doing for the last sort of few years that I've been doing Recinder. But with every batch of ash, it's always different. So I always have to do a few tests beforehand. So these are sort of some of the first tests that I did to get an idea of how it's going to act in the kiln, what temperature it needs to be, what sort of ratio of ceramic to ash needs to be in the material. And I obviously sieve it to get rid of the big bits, and then sometimes I'll wash it depending on the type of ash. But on the whole, it sort of just goes right in, and I can use almost all of it, so the big bulk of it, and then it turns into sort of these bits of ceramic.
So basically you get the waste ceramic. What do you grind it up, or do they already give it to you?
Yes, so I have to grind it up. And luckily the people that I get my ceramic from are very kind, and they tend to crush it up a little bit for me beforehand. Not to sort of tiny pieces, but they smash it up a bit, which really helps. So it's and then it just goes straight into the ball mill and grinds it up, and then I get the powder out of it, and that's ready to use then. I sieve it a bit, but then after that, yeah, it's ready to use.
So you put the ceramic dust or whatever together with the ash that you've sieved, and then it becomes this clay material.
Yes, there are a couple of other sort of ingredients.
So then there's some secret ingredients.
There are some secret ingredients. So sort of those secret ingredients that really help pull everything together. And then, but those are still, they're harder to source, but they're still waste as well. So luckily I have a sort of network of ceramicist friends who've always got things to give away and materials to give away. So far I haven't bought any virgin material in the last probably 3 or 4 years, everything like that.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to show us your baby over here, or your wheel, anything that?
Yeah, so this is my super technical setup with my wheel. This is how I make a lot of the cups and even the plates as well. And this is my kiln over here as well. This was 5 months ago. This was the first and most important thing, because there's no point in having a studio making ceramics if you can't fire it. So and this one's great because it's really quite low in the energy that it uses, versus sort of the capacity that it can do. It's my trusty little friend.
Excellent. And what do you do with your waste?
I keep recycling it, so I've got an entire sort of filing cabinet over there of all of the ceramic that I've ever fired that has broken. I can grind it back down and reuse it, or anything that's unfired, I just keep it, like the other day when I was throwing the cups. I keep a bucket next to me at all times, and I just wipe my hands off, or I throw any scraps in that, and it just gets infinitely recycled. So I have almost, in terms of ceramics, I have absolutely no waste. So it's a really good system, and I think it's proof as well for other companies that aren't necessarily using their waste or utilising it, that there are so many different things that you can do with it, and to make a circular economy can actually be financially really beneficial to a lot of companies and the sort of just the society in general.
You have some new shapes to look at, right?
Yes,
yeah, should we have a look?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Got sort of another classic cup shape, although that will shrink down to be sort of roughly a similar shape. And then I've got a sort of classic shape for me. I do the shape quite a lot, a sort of nice teacup. We've got the stamp of the Creative Wings logo with the Rescinder logo, and they're all numbered because they are limited edition at this stage.
So it's functional, sustainable art.
Yes, yeah, and that's always my intention. That's why everything I make, from the tableware that I do quite often, and plates and lighting and things like that, I always try to give it a purpose and a function. Yeah, so these are some of the earliest tests that I did with Rescinder, and I was trying different processes, and a lot of ceramicists are very surprised when I say that it is actually possible to throw with Rescinder, despite the fact that it has almost no plastic clay in it, which is essentially the ingredients that you need to be able to bend it and mould it. And so these are some of my very first tests. Some of these had absolutely no clay in them at all, absolutely no sort of conventional ceramic materials that would make them plastic enough to be able to throw them, and yet it's still possible to throw them. So it's just, my recipe now is slightly different to what it was when it started. Spent the last few years sort of tweaking it. I'm at the stage now where I'm quite happy with it, and it's the absolute highest sort of percentage of waste and the ash and the ceramic that I can do without having to add any virgin materials.
And you're also doing lighting, furniture, tiles.
Yes, lights, because when I use porcelain as the recycled ceramic, it as long as it's thin enough, it can be translucent. As far as we know, it's the first completely recycled ceramic material that is capable of translucency, so it's quite special. But then the plates are sort of my bread and butter. They're the thing that keeps everything ticking along. And then we're also hoping to expand into tiles as well in the future. So once we get the plates down and that project is sort of underway and going well, then we're hoping to branch into tiles as well.
And what we'll be doing, aside from selling the beautiful pieces online and at the castle, you can also come to the castle and have an afternoon tea or morning tea, or even tea cocktails from a special tea that we have put together with Tea Lab. It's an exclusive blend of loose leaf black tea, and the proceeds go to new talent and maintaining the castle. So you can do this whole wonderful package where you get to see a historic building, drink from a vessel from new talent, purchase a vessel, and have tea that's going towards a good cause. Well, fantastic. We can't wait to see what's going to happen with your new shapes and your new materials. So thank you for watching our most recent episode in our docuseries featuring amazing up-and-coming designers such as Rosy Napper here. If you would like to see her materials in action, please come to Kingsgate Castle, have a cup of tea or coffee, and enjoy her Rescinder ceramics. You can also check out the Creative Wings online store and shop there. Thank you for watching.